All right, this is your boy, comedian Edwin Douglas, and guess what? We are behind your mic right here on Dads and Fathers TV. And guess what? I have a special guest, not only a special guest, Miss Elizabeth Savage. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to the show, and could you tell everyone who you are and what you do, and tell them why you're here?
Well, my name is Elizabeth Savage. I am a founder of the organization called Stand Together Against Nationwide Domestic Violence. We're located in Arlington, Texas. Our organization provides help for victims of domestic violence from men, women, and children. Last year, with God's grace, we were able to help over 700 victims of domestic violence. So.
All right, now you heard her. That's what we're going to talk about today on the show. But first, before we go on a break, I'm going to give the man upstairs a breath to breathe, a mind to think, strength in my eyes to see, and a voice to speak, and the sound of my ears to hear, and the blood of Jesus. You heard me? We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Elizabeth Savage.
Being from a family of entrepreneurs, I fully understand all of the IRS tax problems that we have. Thank you for checking out the clip. McDaniel Consulting is going to show you how to deal with your IRS tax problems.
Sarita is experienced in working with a wide range of clients. The profile of a typical McDaniel Consulting runs the gamut from a micro entrepreneur earning up to $100,000 to a family-operated company with revenues up to $75 million. Clients that want individual attention and a meticulous end product work best with McDaniel Consulting. Aside from business plan writing, Sarita has guided the company to being a prime contractor that provides small business consulting to DBEs through Texas Department of Transportation. Prior to launching McDaniel Consulting, Sarita V. McDaniel enjoyed a career as a senior international tax compensation consultant with a then $16.9 billion global firm, Ernst & Young. She earned both Master of Business Administration and Bachelor of Business Administration from Temple University in Philadelphia.
All right, we're back here on Behind Your Mic, and before we go on the break, very special friend of mine, family and friend as well, Miss Elizabeth Savage. As I said, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us, what was your childhood like when you were in school?
Ooh, in school, I fought a lot.
You?
Yes, me. Yes, I was a troublemaker. No, but I come from a background of my parents are actually from Mexico.
Okay.
Yes, so my mother comes from Juarez, and my father was actually born in Cuchillo Parado in Mexico. We moved to Amarillo. That's where we were raised.
Amarillo.
Amarillo in the house. But there I didn't know any English, so my first grade teacher taught me how to speak English. She taught me how to read and spell. So from there, grew up in a little small apartment. We had about maybe 10 people living with us, but we moved into our own home for the first time. I had my own bed. But then I just felt like I had to defend myself, so I fought a lot because a lot of people confused me with being mixed, not being Mexican. So the Mexican people didn't accept me. The black people were like, "You trying to," So it was a lot where I had to defend myself. So I fought.
Well, for those who's watching. I've been in Amarillo for long enough to know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
I can name some high school, Cap Rock, Amarillo, Palo Duro, Tascosa.
Yes.
I can name some small town, Pampa, Texas.
Oh, yes, Pampa.
I can name some places that I used to enjoy kicking at the boathouse.
In Thompson Park.
The barber shop. Everybody know Miss Faye, the barber shop.
Yeah.
There was other places I had no business hanging out, the flat. So when you're talking about fight a lot, I don't know where where you were fighting at, but I knew not to hang out in the flat.
Right. Yeah, that's the place to hang out.
So all the things that you have said so far coming from Amarillo, when you hear Amarillo, what's the first thing come to your mind when you hear somebody say Amarillo?
My hometown. That's where we grew up. Memories, good and bad. Good and bad. There were some good ones. There were some bad ones. So yeah.
Well, I loved it. You are related to my closest friend, family, Savage.
Yes.
And beautiful family, very supportive, and it's like it is a second family. Because when I first came to West Texas, which is now West Texas A&M, Curtis Savage,
Curtis.
you know, he was the first person I met. And ever since then, anything with that last name, I can't help but love it. So that's
Right.
why, one of the reasons why you're here today, I will support
you.
you guys anytime, anything that you have going on, I'm there for you.
Well, thank you.
Now, the last time I interviewed you, LA Talk Radio, I was the co-host. And I know I asked some silly questions but that's not going to happen today.
Okay.
We go,
Like a serious question?
so that's the surprise I'm going to tell you. Don't
Okay.
worry about that. What is some of your favorite music you like to listen to?
I love all kinds. I like from country to R&B to, I like all kinds.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
soft rock, hard rock, as long as
Okay.
it makes sense. I don't like rap.
Okay.
I'm trying, but
Okay. Who you have? What CD you have in your car right now? That's in the CD player.
nothing. My husband took it out. It's a Christian mix CD. He took it out, so I have nothing in there. I have 94.9.
Okay,
but no CD right now. He took it out.
Okay.
It was a mix CD. Yep. He sure did.
Okay. Sports. What is your favorite sport?
Football and boxing.
Okay.
I know they're violent, but I like them.
Okay. When we say football, let's say NFL. Favorite team?
Cowboys, come on.
Cowboys. Even though we're losing, but we'll be
It's all
back.
right, I'm a diehard
We'll be back.
fan. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Cowboys
I love
fan
Cowboys,
too.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Cowboys.
You said boxing. Who's your favorite fighter?
De La Hoya. It's always
Okay.
been De La Hoya.
Okay.
Trying to find a
Okay.
good one.
Okay.
But-
Are you into the women UFC boxing?
No.
Okay.
Not that violent now. Let's not go that violent.
Okay. So let me ask you this: being here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, what is the difference between where you are now and where you came from?
Ooh, from Amarillo, I've come a long way.
Okay.
Because Amarillo is where my life totally changed for the worse. So I fled here to Dallas to get away. I found an opportunity to come here, so my goal was to get away from what
Okay.
had happened in Amarillo. So
Okay.
yeah, it's more opportunity. And you know, Amarillo, I love it, but it's just I left my past in the past.
Got you. And there's nothing wrong with it. I think a lot of us try to leave our past in the past, but you are very supportive in the community. Okay, your past made you who you are today.
Yes.
Okay, and I have to say that you're doing a wonderful job. I've been following you from social media and for like 2 or 3 years. No one knew where I was going with it when I be posting up things on Facebook because I had a plan. And my plan is to be a blessing to other people who changing the world or bringing things back in the community. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And what we're going to do when we come back, we're going to go in detail about STAND stand.
Okay.
Have you ever had a question related to child support, divorce, CPS? Call the Attorney General or maybe an attorney and they just gave you a runaround? Where do you go to get help? Contact Dads Fathers of Texas. Yes, they are child support specialists. Dads Fathers of Texas can answer your question, help file paperwork, and help find a family law attorney. Dads Fathers of Texas, making child support simple.
All right, we're back here on Behind Your Mic. I'm your host, comedian Edmund Douglas, with our special guest, Elizabeth Savage. Before we went on break, we welcome 2 wonderful people of yours. Could you explain and share who you bring to the show?
I have Mr. Dennis Savage, who happens to be also my husband. He is the president of the board. And then I have Mr. Dowie Austin, which he's also like a brother to me. And he is the vice president. Sorry, vice president.
Okay, okay. And so, since you been with the organization, tell us a little bit about the experience so far.
The experience has been great because we've been able to go in the community and help people. We've been able to go in. We helped a family. They actually lost their granddaughter in the fire. We went in and helped them kind of gut their house out because they didn't have insurance to do it. the city called on Stan, and we were able to respond. We were able to have a outing with some of the boys from a homeless shelter. So it's been a great experience just to see and be able to contribute back to the community.
Okay, cool. This other young man of God, family to me, tell the world about your experience so far with the organization.
It's well, it's been an eye opener because a lot of times when you hear about different organizations contributing to different places and you don't really get involved with them, you kind of see it from a surface level.
Yeah.
Her vision was to put this together, being a victim of domestic violence, and her vision was to help those who are in need. So for us to be able to come in and undergird her vision, it gives you a whole new appreciation for those who go through abuse, for children who go through abuse. So we just really want to be that extra extension to help bring the vision together. So it's been a lot of hurtful nights because you see the pain that people go through.
Yeah.
A lot of joyous days because you're able to help people and pull them out of certain situations. So it has its highs and its lows, but the underlying foundation is something bigger than you, and you definitely want to be a part of it.
Okay. This question goes for any one of you guys. Individual who's been homeless, could you tell us some of the things or anyone that you may have worked with that changed their life?
Well, go ahead. You can say something?
Well, no, one of the key things, like what Davia said, and the reason he mentioned that one family who had the house that had caught on fire, because it's something that definitely struck home with Elizabeth, to be able to go in and to see destruction, what it looks like firsthand. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was all through the papers, and the people lost a child in that tragic fire. You know what I mean? But whenever you can go in and see people who are displaced, it really just pulls at your heart because you really want to be a help. And then no one really thinks about, if my insurance isn't in place, something could happen. You never really think about those things, and then all of a sudden when it happens, you find yourself in a position where you can't do the basic things for yourself, and then you're dependent on people to come in, and all the time people don't show up like they say they're going to show up. So when they called on the organization to Stan to come in, and we were able to rally 40, 50, 60 people to come in and just do the labor part. And those are just people who've gotten behind her vision to want to help. You know what I mean? So it gives you a new sense of urgency and a new sense of pride to know that people get behind your vision. So that's without a doubt the best part of it, to see people attached to the vision and want to push the vision forward.
So let me ask you this: what is some of the requirement if someone need help, let's say homeless, and they walk into the program or they call you? What is some of the things that have to be going on in their lives at the moment to be a part of the program?
Well, a lot of programs, what they do, they turn you away because you make a little bit more money than you're supposed to. They're borderline, so they turn them away. Homeless, you have to literally be out in the streets for days before they can take you in. And to me, that's like, no, if they need it, they need it. You can tell when a person's homeless. I mean, you can tell. You can tell when someone is going through an abusive relationship, and a dollar shouldn't matter. You should take them in, help them no matter what. And it's sad that some people do get turned away because they make $1 more than what they're supposed to be able to get the program. And I don't think that's fair. So.
It's funny you mentioned that, and I don't think you guys knew this. I was homeless for like 2.5 months. My frat brother, with your cousin, when I was working in Frisco at Honda, and him driving out of Little M through the tollway, he blow at me, and I be going to work, but I was sleeping in my car. I was bathing in 24-hour fitness. This is right out of my after my separation, going through divorce. But this was actually going on when I spent, I think it was Thanksgiving weekend, Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Eve. I think it was Thanksgiving, and we all ate at the house. And then we went to the movie. Okay, you remember that?
Yeah.
I was homeless then.
Really?
I was homeless then, and you remember I fell asleep in the movie and I was snoring? That was my time to go to sleep and rest.
Yeah, I remember you snoring.
Yeah. I was, At that time, I was homeless then, but I trusted God, and not every homeless person think the same way.
Right.
Okay, but the amazing part about that night, and I was homeless for like 2.5 months. I had my job. My income was okay, but the biggest question is, if you have a job and you're homeless, why not you have a place to stay?
Right.
Well, there's many reasons a lot of people are homeless. Probably divorce, probably running away from bill collectors. A lot of reasons can take place. That night, when I left you guys, I had a phone call, and an expanded family been following me and been watching me. Somehow they got a hold of my cell number, and that day I didn't go to work or something like that, and said I have a place for you to stay.
Wow.
Now I was blessed. Not everybody get that.
Right.
Because of my faith, I trusted God and I prayed and pretended like everything was okay. So a lot of people, what you explained, think that way, feel that way because they don't want nobody to know. Okay.
A lot of people don't have a first-hand example or reference. And someone like this, because I've known you for probably 20 years.
At least over 2 decades.
And, I never knew that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So life happens. And when life happens, you really need someone who'd like to stretch you out a blessing to stretch you out a blessing. And that's what Stan tries to do, is to try to just stretch out a blessing to someone who's in need.
Right.
And domestic violence, what we key on is, it's not just where it used to be a man on a woman. It's
woman.
completely switched where it's now women on men and women on children and men on children. I mean, the dynamics of domestic violence has changed so much, and that's why we're so busy, and why there's such a need for an organization like STAN to be in the marketplace.
The word domestic violence, there's a lot of men get caught up. Of course, when you're in a relationship, the heat and discussion can go between a man and a woman. But when it comes to a man have to leave home, what are some of the things you guys have to offer for men?
Well, now Dallas has a shelter just for men now for domestic violence. Okay. And that's a good thing because they didn't have nowhere to go. So some of them became homeless. Some of them didn't get the help that they needed, or they were like, a woman's going to beat you up. So they were turned away. They lost custody of their children when the woman might have been, violent towards the children. So now there's a lot of help out there. What we do, we can send them to this shelter because we didn't have nowhere to send them. So we will, get them to a hotel, but then from there where they go. So we, so it's a blessing that they started this, shelter for them. So now we know where to send them. Now we have that connection where, hey, we got a safe place to go. But also, I didn't know this, but I just found out about QT, the gas station, there's a sign called Safe Haven. If a man or a woman or a child is in danger of a domestic violence, you go there and you say, I need Safe Haven. They will grab you and put you in a safe place until authority gets there. Wow. So that's, it's people are really trying to put a stop to this domestic violence. Wow. People are tired, of losing so many people lives behind domestic violence. So it's a good thing to know that. Wow. So now men got that help, so that they can get their life right. So now we're able to help them get their apartments just like we help the women. Get their apartment furnished just like we help the women. Get them go to back to school just like we help the women. So now it's the help out there. So you guys actually help men, women, and children to get things back in order, like school, home, and what else?
Right. Well, being that facilitator, being that in between, because a lot of people don't know how to get the resources. So a lot of what Liz do and Kim Austin, the ladies who help her out, they are those facilitators that in between, because a lot of times you don't know what to do. And the thing you're finding more with men, it's more of an embarrassment thing or a pride thing. You very rarely would have a man pick up the phone and call the police and say, hey, I'm being abused. It's something that can go on for years and years and years, just because of the stamina that goes along with it. So it's getting more light now, especially with things that go on with the NFL, and you see it being more publicized. So that helps us to where we can be more active in what we do and just getting the word out. Domestic violence is shared the same month with cancer. So cancer kind of overshadows us. A lot of people don't even know that there's a month for domestic violence.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, and that's what, you know, like her vision is, to just have awareness and bring the word out. And if we do that, then we can make a change.
Yes.
Good. Let me ask you this. How many women that you probably talk to on a weekly basis that need help,
Gosh. Oh. Literally, weekly, you're looking about maybe over 15, 20.
Really? Is
Yes,
that?
yes. Right now in the shelters, they had about 60 families right now. And sometimes when they overload, you know, they have so many, they have to sleep them in the gym because they have not enough rooms. So
So you guys do have other organizations contact you
Yes.
as like a partner?
yes, like Safe Havens, we partnered up with Safe Havens. We partnered up with the Arlington Police Department.
Okay.
You know, now we partnered up with the Shelter for the Man. So
Okay.
you know, yes.
Wow.
And then we do things in San Diego with another organization from there.
Okay,
So
okay.
yes,
Fort Worth Police
at
Department.
the Fort Worth Police Department.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any other cities in the state that you may be affiliated with besides the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
We've helped El Paso.
Okay.
We've helped Abilene. I mean, not Abilene. Lubbock. We've helped Amarillo. We helped Plainview. So we've connected with shelters
So
there.
actually
So
you-
when we have calls,
Statewide?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
So you statewide or is it
We're gonna-
nationwide?
nationwide. We're
Wow,
trying to, yeah, we're
okay.
trying to go nationwide.
Okay.
So we
okay.
can connect with everybody around.
Okay.
Yes. We can help
Okay.
one another.
Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to get in deep detail more about helping men, women, and children after the break here.
Walking into a fantastic clean office. Or coming home to a fantastic clean home. Hi, my name is LaMonica, CEO and founder of Fantastic Four Cleaning Services, providing fantastic services for you because that's what we aim to do. Give me a call at the office at 469-730-3054.
All right, we're back here on Behind Your Mic. During the break, could you finish discussing what we were talking about, separation on a spiritual level?
Yes, we have to understand that how the system is set up is really how the world is set up, and it's set up to divide families. When it comes to a family being helped through a domestic violence situation, it's not all the times that the family wants to split up. But how the entity is set up, it splits them up, where women have to go to one facility, the men have to go to another facility, and most of the time the children have to go with the women.
Wow.
That's divided at that point. So if I'm in a domestic violence situation and we come to an agreement, or we've had counseling and we want to work through this, there's not a facility or there's not help out there that's going to help the family.
Right.
Wow.
It's either going to help the man or it's going to help the children and women, but it's not going to help the family as a
together.
unit. And how I look at that is even on the spiritual level. When you look at on the spiritual level, God honors families, togetherness. And on the flip side, what does Satan come to do? Steal, kill, and destroy. And he comes after families, and domestic violence is just one way that he comes to destroy families.
That's right.
Now, on the reality level, what can the organization do to keep the family together?
We have a program called Second Chance. I believe that can an abuser get the help? Yes. I believe that a family can stay together if the person gets the help. But if it's not given the help, the counseling with himself or herself, and then together as a family, then it's never going to happen. The issue's still going to be there.
Okay.
You know, so I was asked that question, how can we fix this? Well, create a program, Second Chance. Once you create, you know, bring these people together, the family together, you can keep majority of these families together, and you can probably turn that man around or that woman around, where she will, you know, be like, you know, the family will be together and everything will be good.
That's the ultimate goal, is to keep the family together, if at all possible. But when we come into a situation, especially domestic violence, before the break we had talked about the homeless situation as far as being homeless with a family and then the system dividing the families, kind of how we went that direction. Minister Brother Dowie started talking about that. It's definitely a plot of Satan to try to divide the family. And in some domestic violence situations, the families can't be together.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, so each situation requires a delicate hand, and so we try to get the pulse of each particular deal that situation we deal with, because the ultimate goal is to have safety for whoever the person that's being
Victim.
abused, the victim is. So it's all in a case-by-case type scenario.
And that was another reason why Liz came up with Boys with a Purpose.
Okay.
When you look at domestic violence, most of the time, majority of the time, the man is highlighted as the one that's creating the domestic violence in the home. What we don't look at, what society don't realize is when you got young boys in the house and they see this, what is that portraying in their minds? What mindset is that giving them? What type of environment is that so far as, because they don't have a choice, they have to be there. So it destroys and it gives them a negative mindset. And if they're not dealt with, if they don't have counseling, if there's not a program for them, well, one domestic violence, they talk about hereditary things being passed on. Well, domestic violence can be passed on. Because if I'm raised in a house of domestic violence, as a young man, that's all I know. So I come up and what am I going to be? I'm going to be someone that I'm going to have domestic violence in my home, unless there's a program like what we have, Boys with a Purpose. We go out and we'll go pick up young men that's in a home with their
Safe havens.
Safe haven with their mothers, and we spend time with them.
Okay.
We did one outing at Alley Cats, and some of the people that came out, we gave gym shoes, and what we wanted to do is encourage them to let them know what they've seen in their home is a situation, but that's not a lifestyle.
And sometimes it's giving them a different male perspective.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because when you do talk to, especially young boys who've been brought up with a household where there's domestic violence, the first thing they'll say if they follow that same suit is, "Well, I saw it in the house. My dad was like this."
Yes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you kind of do what you saw done, good or bad.
What you know.
So anytime you can come in and reinforce some positive. Affirming things to young men, especially at 8, 9, 10, they're looking to grasp hope to something that's positive. So if you can give them any kind of positivity, it could be a life changer for them.
Yes.
Role model.
So what kind of events do you guys have to strengthen the organization to be supportive in the community?
Well, the events that we have coming up in, of course, February is the month of teen dating abuse.
Okay.
You have 1 out of 4 teens that are being abused. It starts from middle school and on. It's like what they've seen at home. They're starting to do it in middle school.
Okay.
So I'm going in and I'm going to start speak in Grand Prairie at a middle school.
Okay.
We have that going on, and then in May we have Finding Yourself. That is a program for women. We do a makeover, let them see themselves in a different way, because some women are not allowed to wear makeup. Some women are allowed to cut their hair. Some women are allowed, they do what their partner tells them to do. So we go in and we give them that self-esteem boost,
Gotcha. Okay.
We have the second chance with the men now that we're involved with the men, coming in. The men are going to take care of course, all the other men that volunteer are going to go in into the shelter and one-on-one with the man. I can't teach a man how to, how to overcome that. So this is where the men are going to come in.
Good.
We have our biggest one. We have our 10-5K.
Okay.
And our 10-5K, this is going to be a 4-year 5K, we honor victims of domestic violence, either that they overcame or lost their lives behind domestic violence. So this is going to be our 4-year, and then this is our 5-year anniversary. So we're going to have a gala to celebrate our 5 years of, giving back to the community. So.
Speaking of men who trying to find their way back, working, have finances. Get their life back. What advice either one of you guys could give to the men who may be watching how to get themselves back on track with your organization?
Everything that Stan does is definitely from a biblical standpoint. It's formed and shaped all around prayer. So any advice I give to any man, it's going to start out first of all with prayer. And then let them know that it's all about a mind, about a mindset. You know what I mean? And it's all seasonal. I mean, you mentioned earlier how you went through a season, and sometimes we have to realize that we go through seasons, but it's not a permanent type thing. It's all temporary. So if you can get it to the point to where you can see past where you at right now, and if we can come along and give you that inspiration or give you that seed to plant it in you to where you realize that, you know what I mean, maybe 6 or 7 months down the road I'll be in a different spot. I just got to keep on holding on to get to where I need to be, and that's what we want to be. Just that voice to kind of help you get over that hump. And like I said, for me, and I know Brother Dowie, the foundational thing is always going to be prayer.
I agree with you 300% because prayer.
That's the key.
You know, it's some things that I prayed about and I kind of talked back to the Lord. There's some times when when I was changing clothes and bathing and pretending that I was working out at 24-hour fitness, I had to go to sleep. And so I leave my Bible open on the dashboard. Dallas police officer, I knew he knew that something wasn't right. He knew that. But I talked to the Lord. I said, look here, I just need 2 hours sleep. Let the police go someplace else. Because you can't stay open, you know, keep your eyes open 24 hours.
Small lessons.
Yeah, because so you're right, prayer. I had to pray all day long. Because I need to go to sleep. I don't want nobody to rob me, attack me. So it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. You know, I don't want to go to jail, do things that don't look normal. So prayer, you're right.
It's the first step.
I mean,
but the second would be the tangible part, and that's where it comes along to where you can pray with people, but God has blessed you to put some action behind what you do. You could be a blessing to someone as well. So that's where the tangible part come in, and facilitating them to different places, to the shelters here in Dallas, helping them get the different programs we offer, maybe extending them, because we even went to an event where we looked up with people who can offer you jobs. I mean, so people are willing to step up and help if you just let them know what you do and what you need. You know what I mean? So if we can send someone to a certain place to help them find a job or give them the information they need to try to help them get housing, we just want to be that facilitator.
And not just to add, but you touched on it a little while ago you asked what was the first thing, and definitely, you know, they contact us. Prayer would be the first thing. But before they even contact us, they would have to accept where they are, understand that they need help as a man, and it's okay to be a man and to need help, because I think a lot of times, you talked about it earlier, pride. We have that pride and we don't want to reach out. So what would be some of the, somebody that's watching, the first thing, accept where you are, understand where you are, and know that the only way that it's going to be a change is that you ask for help. Make a call and we're here.
You're right. I mean, pride does take place, and a lot of people don't realize the word pride is an evil spirit. It's an evil spirit. And the thing is that we need to hear more men speak on, be a man. Pray. Obey your faith. Trust God. And we need more programs. What you guys are doing, what you have to offer. Real quick, what are the things that you guys have coming up and you want everybody to know?
Well, we have we have the event for Boys with the Purpose, Girls with the Purpose. The Boys with the Purpose, we kind of move out the way and let the men come in from the volunteers and stuff. We have the 10-5K. We'll be honoring another young lady this year. Let's see what else we have going on. Finding Yourself with the men and the women. Let's see, anything else I'm missing?
No,
I think and then the gala for the 5-year anniversary.
Because you do a good job posting things that we have going on.
Updates
on our Facebook page, and I know she's a media type person where she's on social Twitter and all these different things. I mean, that's not my thing really, but I mean, she's on those things, so you can always follow us. What's the Facebook page?
Stand Organization, capital
Stand
letters.
Organization. Okay, and. Anything else that you guys plan on doing in the next 5 years? I know you don't have to tell it all, but what do you like to see this organization be in the next 5 years?
I'm going to share this. My goal, my dream, the vision is to open up some apartment complex.
Okay.
So when the victims leave the shelter, that's men and women. We'll have one section, you know, on the other side, but that's the goal. Is
Okay.
to have some apartment complex to teach them responsibilities,
Okay.
how to find, you know, the finances area, how to save, and so that's the goal.
So really, this is just a big ministry.
Yes.
Okay. I know you guys doing a wonderful job. I've spoken with her a couple of times, more than a couple of times, you know, between the last interview. And before we go further, I want to say I'm proud of you, man.
We try.
No, I'm proud of you because, see, they call you Dennis. I'm going to call you Peter, okay?
Yeah, Peter.
Okay, and Peter's a good name. It's a good name, okay? And want to say I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of you guys. You know,
Thank you.
making a difference in the community, making a difference what God had ordained in you. Okay, it's anointed. What you're doing is anointed. You said earlier in the interview that I want to look back. What was the purpose of it? For you to look back. So you know where you're going, so you can be a blessing to men, women, and children. It's okay to look back because that's going to strengthen and make it grow.
Right.
Guys, thank you for coming. Elizabeth Savage,
Enjoyed it.
Peter Savage, and your name again?
Dowie Austin.
You heard them. They from Stand Organization right here in Texas. Until next time, my man, Camera CEO, is tricking me. I ain't supposed to be distracted, you know, I'm a comedian. Until next time, I am your host, comedian Edwin Douglas. Peace, and may God bless you. I almost bust out laughing.
Family violence. How can we stop family violence? First, we must stop court-ordered visitation violation. Yes, each day hundreds, if not thousands of children are taken. Some are not seen for months, even years. And sadly, the kidnapper is the mother. Yes, mothers are moving out of town, out of cities, out of state, leaving fathers lost, confused. Most become excessively stressed, but all are looking for solutions and answers. Some, however, are labeled as deadbeat because they stop paying child support. Sadly, some do snap. How can they find solutions, answers? Visit IGotMyRights.com to start your peace and serenity, to reconnect with your child, to become a father in their lives. Yes, victory over visitation can help find options and solutions, stop family violence, and give you an opportunity to be a father. IGotMyRights.com is a great place to start to gain victory over visitation. Your secret to ending